Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachakadash. Double honor to our apostles, the elders, the great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out here pushing the truth and sincerity. The water of which I do, we love you. We appreciate you through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and Shalom to y'all. It's your brother Dawadad, out of one brothers out here to give you an edifying lesson. The spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, coming out of the great millstone camp here in Atlanta. Without further ado, we're going to jump into the video. And what it is about the story of Job, all right? Probably read the first chapter and then make it part two. And however long the spirit goes, Job is a very, very, very important book. Now, they're all very important books. But the thing is, some books teach you a little bit more than others as far as how to deal with yourself throughout your day-to-day and how to be more spiritual and stuff like that and increase your faith. So the story of Job is about a story of faith, trials, and going through tribulations, right? And having and building your faith, all right? And not being easily moved. This is Job chapter 1, verse 1. I said, there was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yahweh and eschewed evil, right? And that word eschewed pretty much means just like stay away from, but we'll get it though for further edification. Yeah, turn aside, turn it in unto, to depart from away, avoid, to be removed, to come to an end, to turn aside, which is beautiful because if you want to, if things, what are some things you should be looking to be eschewed from? What should you eschew? Eschew, right? We here at Great Millstone, we learn from the apostles to dig into words, man. Right? So you would want to eschew, hateful people, right? All these demons out here. A lot of these women, niggas in the hood, places where you shouldn't go, right? Places where there's a high velocity of just niggertry, a damn dice game, right? You should eschew that, some illegal dice game, you know what I mean? Not in a casino or something like that, but out on the streets, that's off. Eschew that. A bunch of niggas in one condensed area smoking weed, eschew that. Those are things you want to stay away from. So this was Job, man. Job saw these things and he eschewed, he got away from them things, man, right? It says, verse 2, and there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she-asses and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all men in the East. And you got to understand something. Back then, the livestock was considered what wealth was. If you had all these, to this day, you got that much livestock, as Job did here in the first chapter, you're wealthy, right? Because people are always going to come to you for food, to want these cattle. You and your family is always going to have food to eat, because you got to think about something. Back then, you ate what you caught. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't goddamn McDonald's to go to, or goddamn Publix, or Stop and Shop or nothing like that. They had little small markets, but if you had an abundance of these things, you could open up your own market and sell to people. So this man was wealthy. It said he was the greatest of all the men in the East. Verse 4 says, and his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. Yeah, so they were living a good life, man, And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of all of them. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed the Heavenly Father in their hearts. Thus did Job commit continually. So this was a righteous man, man. Because when we go to the top, it says he eschewed evil, and he was upright, right? Yeah, upright and one that feared the Most High. Which is beautiful, because even though this man had all this substance, right, this great wealth, and this man feared the Lord, man. You know, you look at a man today and he's so-called rich in society. These niggas don't fear the Lord, man, right? Look at all these rappers and stuff that continuously try to curse the Most High, right? But the Most High is not mocked, you know what I'm saying, right? But these niggas think that the Most High is out here doing something wrong, right? And they don't agree with them, but these niggas got money, and they're not humble, man, you know? But they will soon be humbled, and the thing is, if you're in a humble state, you most likely can be, you know, you're most likely going to be you're going to be closer spiritually to the Heavenly Father or, you know, Yahweh Shai, because you ain't got shit, man. You know what it feels like to not have shit, so you always constantly in a humble state. You know, not saying you can't have money, but the more money you have, the more, the less humble people tend to be. Just, you know, the more proud people tend to be, you know, for lack of a better word. But this man, you know, he feared the Most High, and he did it continuously, and he knew, you know, he had a spoiled family, so they don't fear the Most High. So he said, let me, you know, pray for them as well, man. Right? Verse 6 says, now there was a day when the sons of the Heavenly Father came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Right? So yeah, they came to present themselves, man, to show themselves, man, you know, because the Most High called for them, man, you know what I mean? So and they did so, you know, continuously. But so how is Satan a rebellious angel or a rebellious demon when, you know, the Most High calls and he comes? You know what I mean? So show me in the Bible where it ever says that, you know, this demon, this angel, really, but, you know, because he is an angel, but on the left hand side, which are you know, the demonic spirits that the Heavenly Father have created, you know, to balance out the universe the way he wants to see fit, right? But show us in the Bible where it said, yeah, he didn't listen to the Most High, he went and did his own thing. Show me. It's not there. Verse 7, and the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? And then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth Yahweh and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear Yahweh for naught? Hast not thou made an hedge about him and about his house, and about all that he has on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. So you gave Job all these things, and that's why he loves you, you know. Verse 11 says, but put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. So the Most High told him to go, you know, do whatever he wants to Job, but just don't touch him, don't kill him. You know, you're not to put him to death. And it's funny because people will still make the assumption that Satan was a rebellious spirit, but right here the Most High literally sent him on his way. Right? And not only that, but he gave him commandments. He gave him direct orders that he couldn't do certain things. Come on, man. Where y'all getting this whole Satan is in hell doctrine, man? Where y'all getting that from? And that, you know, he's down there with a pitchfork collecting souls and shit, you know, and he was so rebellious he fell out of the sky. Yo, you guys are bugged out. They don't say that. Salakia. Yeah, she bad. But let me see. I put this thing on sleep mode. This thing's demonic, man. It's let me hurry up and finish before, you know, the video gets ruined. It says in verse 13, and there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house, which, you know, this is what they were always doing, always partying and living a life, you know, such as the heirs to these rich people nowadays. These kids out there just fucking off and doing whatever, just, you know, nothing spiritual, just living their damn life because, you know, they're rich. Right? It says, and there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them, and the Sabeans fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I am the only escaped along to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of Yahweh is fallen from heaven, and have burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands, and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. He was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So we're still in the first chapter. On the 19th verse, Job just literally lost everything at the same time. He lost his children. He lost his substance. He lost all his cattle, right? His servants, all his servants. This man just literally went from 100 to 0 real quick. But we're going to see what happens to him later on in this book. Lord willing, we continue in this book. So it says, then Job, verse 20, then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head, and fell down upon the ground and worshiped. So what happened back then was, if you went into a state of mourning, you would shave your head, right? But you would shave it down to the hairs. Pretty much, you wouldn't be bald, but you would have a shaven head. You would shave off all your hair off. Likewise did the women too when their men were killed. All the men were killed when their land was ravished and spoiled. They would cut off their hair for about I believe 3 months. I'm not too sure, don't quote me, but I believe about 3 months, and then they were remarried to another man. It says at verse 21, and said, naked came out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. And on all this Job sinned not, nor charged Yahweh Bashim Yahshai foolishly. This man gave reverence. He praised Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, man. He said, because he said, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. When you read 2 Samuel, right, we can get that, and then we'll close it up and go into chapter 2 later. Is it? Let me see. Yeah, that's 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6 says, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raises up the poor out of the dust, and lift up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. He does what he wants to do, man. Right? He is the Lord. He does whatever he wants to do. All right? So he gives and he takes away. But the story will continue. We'll, Lord willing, go into another chapter 2. Just now getting off of work here. I got some things I got to take care of. With that, Lord willing, you've been edified, and you're excited to keep on going in the book of Job. I'm excited as well to continue in the book of Job, to do these readings. And I want to say shalom and double honors to the apostles, the elders, a great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out here pushing truth and sincerity. To what of which I do, we love you. We appreciate you. To the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Shalom to y'all.